Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are all safe by the grace of God. Okay children, without wasting time, I will straight away move on to the topic. I am Charles A., social science teacher from MDES. Today, I am going to discuss on social science history topic, the advent of Europeans to India. In this chapter, you are going to learn the trade and commerce relationship India had with Europeans. The second point is the arrival of Europeans to India for trade. The Carnatic Wars in the backdrop of European political developments. On the examination point of view, these two battles are very important. Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, and the dual government system, which was introduced by Robert Clive. The last point is the British policy of aggression. There were trade and commerce relationship between India and Europe since ancient times. There was great demand for Indian spices like black pepper, cardamom, ginger, and many other spices in Europe. The trade relationship continued between India, Europe, and other Asian countries even during Middle Ages. The Arab merchants carried the Asian merchandise into Constantinople of Eastern Roman Empire. Italian merchants would buy these goods and then sell in European countries. Like this, Constantinople was the center of international business and considered as the gateway of European trade. While Arab merchants had gained monopoly over the trade in Asian countries, Italian traders had gained monopoly over trade in Europe. The merchandise from Asia had brought good profits to Italian merchants. The reasons for the discovery of new sea route to India. The first reason is the fall of Constantinople. In 1453, the Ottoman Turks captured the city of Constantinople. As a result, all the trade routes connecting the city of Constantinople came under the control of Turks. And you can see Constantinople in the map. Presently it is called Istanbul. It is in Turkey. The Turks started levying too many taxes on the goods passing through these routes. As a result, the merchants felt that the trade was not profitable. Since the Europeans earned more profit, they don't want to give up their trade with the Eastern countries. So this attitude of the Europeans compelled them to find out new sea route to India. The second reason is Spain and Portugal were attempting to break the monopoly of Italian traders. They started encouraging courageous sailors to find out a new sea route to India by supporting, giving them training and providing financial support. The very important reason for the discovery of new sea route to India was the scientific developments. The scientific developments, compass, astrolabes, gunpowder, atlas, maps, all these provided or helped them to take up their navigation across the oceans. Now we'll see who discovered the sea route to India. This was Vasco da Gama, the Portuguese sailor who left from Lisbon and reached Kapadu near Calicut on the east coast of India in 1498. This route continued to be the route of trade between India and Europe for many years. European trade companies to India. With success of Portuguese, many Dutch, French and English arrived at India for trade. This development not only changed the history of India, it also changed the history of European countries. Portuguese were the first to arrive at India for the trade and were also the last to leave India on the sea route. So here in Portuguese, the two important personality we have to remember. The first one is Francisco de Almeida, who arrived in India as the Viceroy of Portuguese. He implemented blue water policy. You may wonder, what is this blue water policy? It is establishing the supremacy over the sea instead of supremacy over lands. The second important personality was Alfonso de Albuquerque, who came after Almeida. He is considered the real founder of Portuguese power in India. Why he is called the real founder? It's because it is he who waged battle against the Sultan of Bijapur in 1510 and captured Goa and made it as the administrative center of Portuguese administration in India. The Portuguese had absolute monopoly over trade with India for almost a century, and their power declined with the arrival of English and French in India. Now the Dutch. The Dutch are from Holland or Netherlands. The Dutch East India Company was established in the year 1602. They entered countries like India, Java, Sumatra, Indonesia and spices-rich islands. They established warehouses in Surat, Brooch, Cambay, Cochin, Nagapattinam, Masilipattinam and Chinsur and other places. You can see all these places on the map. With this, they broke the monopoly of Portuguese in India. Later, unable to face competition from English and French, Dutch limited themselves to spice-rich islands. So this is very important point on the examination point of view. So why did the Dutch leave the trade with the Indian? That is because they were not able to compete with the English and the French. So that is the answer you have to write to get a good marks. In 1600, December 31st, Queen Elizabeth issued a royal charter authorizing East India Company to trade with eastern countries for 15 years. The company started the business formally in 1613. The Mughal Emperor Jahangir issued a royal permission to English to establish a first warehouse or factory at Surat. In 1617, Sir Thomas Rao arrived at the court of Jahangir as the royal ambassador from the court of James I. He got the permission from Jahangir to establish factories in other places of Mughal Empire. English established factories in Agra, Ahmedabad and Brooch. In 1639, English took Madras from the king of Chandragiri and established a strong fort named St. George Fort. Later, Charles II, the Prince of England, gave Bombay as an annual rent of £10 a year to East India Company in 1668. In 1690, the English purchased 3 villages, namely Sutanuti, Kalikata and Govindapura on the banks of the river Hooghly and built Fort William. The city of Calcutta grew around this fort. By 17th century, the English had established Bombay, Madras and Calcutta as the centers of their presidencies, so that you can see in the map. By the later part of the 18th century, the English made Calcutta as their capital city. They implemented their own civil and criminal procedure codes in the areas that were under their control. French East India Company was established in the year 1664 and it was a government-owned company. It started its first factory in Surat in the year 1668. Later, they established its factories in Machilipatnam, Chandranagur, Mahe, Karaikallur, Qasim Bazar and Balasur. In 1674, the French took Valikandapuram from a local Muslim official and developed it as a major trade center. That center is Puducherry or Pondicherry. The important personality you have to remember in French East India Company was Dupleix, who arrived in Pondicherry as the Governor General of French, and he had the highest ambition of establishing French as the major power in South India. It is also said that he wanted to establish French Empire in India. This ambition led to Carnatic Wars with the English. Now we'll see the competition between English and the French. The Portuguese and the Dutch had withdrawn from India, unable to withstand the competition from French and English by 18th century. Finally, French and English resorted to show strength in order to establish their political supremacy over India. Meanwhile, political instability arose in the regions of Hyderabad and Carnatic, and both the English and French tried to exploit the situation in their favor. This led to the three Carnatic Wars. The wars which broke out between the French East India Company and the English East India Company to establish political supremacy over India is called the Carnatic Wars. Now we'll see the first Carnatic War, which lasted from 1746 to 48. On the request of Dupleix, La Baudis, a French military leader from Mauritius, invaded Madras and captured it. This forced the helpless British to request the help of Anwaruddin, the Nawab of Carnatic, for support. The army sent by Anwaruddin failed to defeat the French at Madras. Finally, La Baudis took money from English and returned Madras and went back to Mauritius. This enraged Dupleix and attempted to take Madras but failed in it. Finally, this war ended with the treaty in Europe between France and England called Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. Now we'll move on to the Second Carnatic War. That is lasted from 1749 to 1754. In the changed circumstances, French made Salabad Jung, another son of Asaf Jah, as the Nizam of Hyderabad. An officer named Bussy was stationed in Hyderabad for his protection by French. In Carnatic, Chanda Sahib was the Nawab with the help of French. Robert Clive of East India Company attacked Arcot, the capital city of Carnatic, and defeated Chanda Sahib. Chanda Sahib was imprisoned and later killed in the war. In the place of Chanda Sahib, the English named Muhammad Ali, the son of Anwaruddin, as the Nawab of Carnatic. The Second Carnatic was ended with the Treaty of Pondicherry. French recalled Dupleix. Now we'll move on to the Third Carnatic War, which lasted from 1756 to 1763. Count de Lally of French attempted to attack Vandivash in 1760. In this battle, Sir Eyrecourt of the English army defeated the French and imprisoned Bussy. Lally escaped and hid in Pondicherry. Finally, Sir Eyrecourt attacked Pondicherry and Lally had to surrender unconditionally in 1761. Now we'll see the effects of Carnatic Wars, or they may ask you results of Carnatic War. French had to lose all their bases in India due to Carnatic Wars. In spite of this, as per the Treaty of Paris in 1763, Pondicherry was returned to French. With these developments, French lost their importance in India. English, by defeating all their rivals, started consolidating their power over the South India.
Now, take down the home assignment, write the answers and get it corrected from your concerned teacher. Thank you, children.